Good morning, sir. Welcome to Elets Innovation Talk, powered by Digital Learning Magazine as the knowledge partner, where we delve into the innovations and appreciate the state-of-art initiatives under the ambit of Indian education sector. Welcome to the Innovation Talk, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Kapil. Good to be here.
It's a pleasure having you, sir, on the landmark edition as we are coming up with the 30th edition of Elets World Education Summit. So I would like to start by giving a brief introduction about you. So today we have the privilege of interacting with a visionary entrepreneur, Mr. Chandrabhanu Pattajoshi, who's the dynamic force behind the Goseeko and SkillCamper, the two innovative platforms that are reshaping the landscape of higher education and skill development in India. They are taking charge, making education more accessible while pioneering upskilling initiatives tailored to meet the demand in an AI-driven future. Mr. Chandrabhanu, with a spanning career of over 17 years across mediums like print, television, radio, and digital connect, has honed his expertise in digital marketing, online advertising, and account management.
Thank you, Kapil, for the introduction and congratulations on your landmark event edition. I hope it goes off well and good luck to the team.
So I would like to start by asking the question, sir, that can you share about Goseeko's and SkillCamper's mission and vision regarding upskilling in the Indian higher education sector?
Right. So Goseeko was the brand which actually started first. The entire vision of Goseeko is to build accessibility to education content for tier 2, tier 3 college students in line with their university curriculum. This curriculum content, which is the study material, is built by local professors with much simpler inputs in terms of language, illustration, and representation, so that students from tier 2, tier 3 colleges who have limited accessibility to structured content find it easier to study and gain quality inputs, and they should be able to clear their exams. So building accessibility to study material in a higher education ecosystem is the vision for Goseeko, and extending Goseeko into building better job readiness for students and students who are also sort of moving to being early jobbers is what SkillCamper is all about. So the entire journey of starting from academics to career is what Goseeko and SkillCamper are today holding fort. SkillCamper also is focusing more on higher level skill building at a domain focused level. So to give you an example, SkillCamper focuses on imparting skilling on data science, say for example, and we are focusing on domains like say BFSI or say e-com retail. So industry always requires people with expertise on the domain. And that is what we found, that SkillCamper needs to build focused, domain-focused skill building opportunities for students who are passing out right at their end of college, and early jobbers as well, people who are like 0 to 5 years of experience in companies and who are potentially either sitting on the bench or they have not yet picked up the new age requirements of data science, etc. So from academics to career, access to academics and study material is Goseeko. Building skills at a domain focused level, SkillCamper. We are in that space. Goseeko.
So even I agree to it that freshers face the similar kind of situations when they apply for a job. So what happens is there are certain skills that are in the job descriptions which they are not aware of or not might have prepared, maybe because of curriculum or other issues. So this is where like SkillCamper comes in with courses on Python and data science, which are in demand in the market. This is completely agreed with you on that. So following up to the question, sir, my second question would be, how do Goseeko and SkillCamper ensure that the skills taught through its platform remain relevant and future-proof?
See, the fact that today more at a specifically at a skill building level, anything that is taught, if you are providing more of an experiential learning method, your pedagogy has to be more in depth. So, say for example, in Skill Camper, we are doing um, hybrid and live formats. Okay, so either offline live or online live, but again, live sessions. In those live sessions, there are trainers who are actually working with the participants or students who joined us or users who joined us. Okay, and they are using real industry level case studies. Okay, so use cases, industry level case studies, where the learning is a lot more real, and hence their understanding becomes much more application driven. So it's 20% theory and 80% apply into your job, sort of a pedagogy model. And that is where we are trying to bring in a perfect fit into how the learning is actually used effectively when you are ready for your jobs.
So it's like creating a practical environment for learning with real-life case studies.
Absolutely. And more examples. So we give people a lot of assignments. We give people a lot of practical, say for example, relate with the industry case studies. Assignments must be complete. We have evaluations. We have levels of testing at every level. Student needs to clear to the next level. So all sorts of interventions where the learning is ensured to come in completely into the into the bloodstream of of the user. Otherwise, how will he really apply it on the job? And that is exactly what corporates are trying to solve. We don't need to keep people so much on the bench. It's a loss of time. It's a loss of hiring capability. So let's push them to training. So I am saying that I will fit into that slot where you need not push them to training. We will train them, and then you get ready for hiring.
Yeah. Yes, even in corporates, they have like a 3 month training program because the particular skills that they want in individuals, they are not prepared with it. So
Absolutely.
corporates also have to like invest a capital and time and energy so that individuals are ready with the skills. So if they're prepared beforehand, so they'll be like easily able to transition into and be productive.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. So moving on, like how are GoSequent Skill Camper contributing to India's vision of becoming a knowledge-based economy through upskilling in higher education?
Um, the entire proposition of making accessibility of study material happen for students in tier 2, tier 3 colleges itself is one of the most important requirements in higher education. Today, the higher education in is essentially in tier 2, tier 3 colleges, where it is very fragmented, rudimentary, splintered, and there are very deep talent issues even at a professor level in our towns, smaller towns and cities, in tier 2, tier 3 colleges especially. So giving them a structured curriculum completely curated in line with the university's syllabus is one of the first things that we thought of. Must be made also by local professors, so that students who are in tier 2, tier 3 don't get intimidated by complicated language, complicated presentation and equations and so on and so forth. They need to be taught very simplistically, and I think that is what we started first creating as an access that is needed. And remember, students from school level to college level are the feeder system of the country. If you don't start intervening at a point where before they really get into the industry and contribute to economic growth and so on and so forth, if you don't really create an intervention at that point, you will lose out. So again, we wanted to capture an ecosystem like, colleges where very important interventions are being done there first, to provide accessibility, and then create the next step, which is skill building. And that skill building is also being done in practical, with practical applications in mind, on how they can start contributing to growths of companies, and thereby cascading it to, more of more of how companies can grow, create more economic growth, and get better jobs, more jobs, and no need to sit on the bench, and so on and so forth. I don't know if you know this data, but you know that we have 10 million students who sort of pass out of higher education systems in India every year, and our employability numbers in white collar jobs where we are is abysmally low, which is anywhere between 1.5 to 2%. And so there are huge pools of engineers who are available in the market, but companies are not being able to fill positions. There is a gap. And that is where we have to contribute to the economy and contribute to the country, where employability starts becoming a very important driver for growth. And that is how both the brands, Goseeko and SkillCamper, are contributing to the growth.
So even I agree with you on that, sir, because there are a number of reports that have been published which shows that organizations have asserted that individuals are unemployable. They do not have those skills which are required to perform in the real uh, organizational setting. So I completely agree with you on that, sir. And following up to that question, I want to know that the uh, market is very dynamic in nature. Every now and then, new skills are in trend. So my next question is on that, like how important is continuous learning and reskilling for students in today's dynamic job market, and how are you supporting this?
So, see, continuous learning and reskilling for students is, of course, there is no question about it. It's mandatory. It is now moving from students to even, people who are working, to working professionals. If you are not going to learn yourself at an early jobber level, like 0 to 5 years, first of all, you'll be put on the bench. You want to avoid that scenario. You want to be, employed. And also, when you move towards middle management, if they don't reskill themselves or continuously upskill themselves, you will start losing out to the younger guys who are going to start catching up, in terms of growing through the, chain within organizations. And people who are right on top, CEOs, at a C level, uh, they will also need to know what new skills are coming up at a bottom level, in the market, and how their industries are getting impacted. So, student to early jobbers to middle management to top management, nobody can escape upskilling, learning new things, and getting to adapt new ways of the market. Um, Anybody who gives up learning is almost going to get out of the race. So there is no escaping for anyone at any level.
Okay, so be it freshers, middle management, or the C-suite, everyone needs to upskill themselves too in a dynamic market.
Continuously and continuously.
Okay, first. So my last question to you would be, how has the demand for upskilling evolved among the Indian higher education institutions in recent years?
Um, my only bit of observation here is that in the higher education institutions, there is very theoretical approach to all this even now. We can leave the maybe the really top and premier institutions of the country, like the IITs, or maybe the IIMs, will have some applicability coming in, but largely for the masses who are passing out and looking for jobs in the industry, the institution ecosystem is still extremely theoretical. It comes with very low levels of understanding of how the industry really works, and that's where the gap is. In fact, it should have sort of come down, but the gap is in fact growing a lot more, and we have to play an effective role to bridge that gap. Otherwise, industries will suffer in the next decade or so. There will unemployment pools will just increase way too much. So institutions need to embrace this. They have to understand that pedagogical changes need to happen. They have to have more younger industry professionals who should start coming into the educational institutes to teach, so that there is deeper engagement of industry methods rather than theories.
There. Yes, thank you for the meaningful insights, sir. So it was lovely having you here, sharing profound insights on skilling, which is also the theme for the 30th edition of World Education Summit, where our theme is focusing on skill development and how it is bridging the gap between in what industry demands and what institutions are teaching. It was lovely having your conversation with you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Any closing remarks, sir? Sir, yeah.
no, all the best for your event, and we hope to see you all there. And let's see how we can make this platform or use events like these to drive the reasons for which higher education needs significant intervention. So all the best, and hope to see you soon.